When I was a small kid back in elementary, I've always struggled to make connection with people and friends. I was just a sad and lonely kid. The years of social isolation unconsciously left a mark in my head, even till this day as an adult. Years of pain that will just never fade away. Now that is why when I see a child going through the same situation, I look him in the eye and smile and tell him, it's all your fault and it's gonna get fucking worse. I was thinking about my childhood the other day until one core memory popped into my mind recently, and that is the time my mom grounded me, possibly for the first time. I'm not too sure. I could have been between 5 or 8 years old. Well, looking back, it's probably the first time I've ever gotten grounded before, because back in the day I would say I was a pretty well behaved kid, wouldn't really cause trouble for anybody. Even my parents will mention how much of a quiet kid I was. I wouldn't even make that much of a mess. Overall, they would just say I was a really good kid. I was pretty much well behaved, kept to myself, and didn't talk to nobody. Like a fucking loser. That is until my childhood friends at the time convinced me to go journey across the neighborhood to go see one of their friends. I also just realized what they said to convince me it was with one word. I do vaguely remember them describing this person and how much of a badass he was, and we had to go hang out with him. And of course, quiet, socially awkward me was like, no, I'm gonna go home and play games. And then right after that, I do remember my buddy saying, but he's got a trampoline and yada yada. And then, oh, my ears perked up. I'm down. I know I agreed right away because I broke the one rule I was learning, and that is tell my mom where I'm going. But trampoline, so it slipped my mind, I guess. Foreshadowing. Fast forward when we travel far and wide for each Chmoobie to understand the dumbass that is inside. Once we made it across the neighborhood to his house without encountering any white vans with a free candy sign on it, lo and behold, I got to meet the guy. Forgive me for the lack of details. This was years ago. I do not remember talking to this guy, what he looked like. I don't even remember his name. And this was probably a tell sign of how inept I was with social skills. I don't even remember attempting to speak with the guy. I vaguely remember letting my friends do all the talking as I stood right behind them just to avoid making eye contact, because I feel like if we did, I would have to say something, and I didn't know what to say. I didn't know nothing about him. I still don't. All I knew was I wanted to play on the trampoline. And then Christ, I don't know why I was like this, but the new guy and my buddies, they were standing in like a triangular formation, and I was just off in my corner by myself. I really wish we had cameras at the time. I wanted to know what that looked like from an outsider point of view. 3 kids playing together while one playing by himself in the corner on a trampoline, to remind you. Well, anyways, after a whole afternoon of playing at their house, like in Mario Kart fashion, a white 91 Cadillac pulls out of nowhere, honking non-stop, and then we all turn around and hear, Chmoobie, you better get over here right now. And yikes, my heart stops. Is it a stranger danger? Is it a pedo? No, it's even worse. It's my mother. Not just any mother, an angry mother. A wave of extreme fear hits my body. I'm frozen in place. That is until one of my buddies looks at me and tells me, oh dude, your mom's mad, you better go. You dirty bastard, you convinced me to come. I wanted to stay home. And I remember the car ride was kind of tense, you know, it was so quiet. I felt the tension in the air. As my mom drove off, I got to see them continue to play without me, like if my presence didn't make much of a difference if I was there or not. As we went back home, I saw my last moments of freedom escaping me, as I knew I'll not return from the dungeon of punishment. I'm just being a little bitch, it wasn't that bad. And the moment we arrived, she looked at me with the most aggressive look I've ever seen at the time. And I know she was extra pissed that day because when she was talking to me, she did that thing where her lips were moving, but her teeth were still shut. Yeah, if you know, you know. I'm so fucking dead. And I still remember her telling me, I was shouting out your name, I went to the neighbors, I was knocking on everybody's door, I was screaming down the road looking for you. I looked like a psycho screaming down the neighborhood looking for you. I almost called the cops because of you. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I'm pretty sure I said something, trying to explain myself. I didn't want to go, but my friends convinced me, and then trampoline, and then I do know I fumbled my words because I was trying to make it seem less bad so I wouldn't be in trouble. I mean, obviously didn't work because, you know, kid logic. I was an idiot. I still am. And I think in that moment she attempted to calm me down because I think she saw that I was shaking out of control like a chihuahua made out of maracas. And she said, I'm not mad at you. I'm just upset you didn't tell me where you're going. You're not allowed to leave the house without telling me where you're going. You're grounded. I remember laying down in my room feeling the hot, sweaty shame I felt for getting in trouble. Then I remember crying for a bit like, wah. And then I think not too long after, I really didn't feel that bad anymore because I now realize I'm in my room. I could play my games now, go back to my routine, like if nothing happened. It all worked out at the end of the day. I still got the good ending. Well, grounded but okay ending. Man, fuck that guy in his trampoline. I don't need him. I had Mario Kart Double Dash, baby.